Okay, so following up from yesterday, with the songwriting, apologies, but I've basically written the song. Um, it was really fun writing it. So I'll talk you through the process that I went through, because I think by the end of the last time I was kind of a bit tired, and just a bit tired of writing the song. So last time we had this kind of thing. I've still got that going. And that's the intro. But here I really changed things up. So initially I was going to say like, I'm going back my home. And like, just really didn't feel like it was going anywhere. So I just wanted to shake it up completely. So I decided that riff actually wouldn't be something that I'd do with a melody. It wouldn't even be in the verse. It's just a guitar bit to do twice in the song, and the rest of the time would more be like something different. So I was playing around with it. And this is really, really where it comes in handy that I've learned other people's songs before. So as soon as I heard these notes, I was playing around D, and there's a song, it's called a Tom Petty song, called I'm on Fire. Check it out. And there's a really good cover by a guy called Matt something. I'll leave the link in the description so you guys can see it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That would be really cool. I really appreciate the support. But yeah, so it goes like, hey little girl, is your daddy home? Did he go and leave you all alone? Got a bad desire. Oh, I'm on fire. So it's that kind of thing. So I literally just started playing around with chords and stuff like that. And I just started playing the G, and it kind of felt quite nice to start on that. I was like, oh, that sounds quite nice. That's like a C, so I started on a G. Now with the G, this is going to sound quite weird. This is a G, if I play all the strings. It sounded too complete, so I tried taking off my index finger. That was too weird. So I'm just deadening the A string with my middle finger, so that you only hear these notes. Anyway, just a tiny detail, but these things really make a difference, for me anyway. I just kind of prefer that instead of the do 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 do. That kind of just tired me out a bit. I felt like I could only go like that. I wanted to have some more dynamics in the song. And play it soft. So instead of the nails, I'm playing with the soft part of my thumb. So I started singing like this to the other song, the I'm on Fire one. Hey little girl, is your daddy home? Did he go and leave you all alone? Got a bad desire. Oh, 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 I'm on fire. So I found myself naturally going between those three chords, G, C, D. I mean, I always pretend like I don't have a capital one, but yeah, if it's open for it, it'd be G, C, D. Because that's a really standard progression, or D, C, G, like it's used so often. It's basically the ones used in 12-bar blues and stuff like that. So I'm going G, C, D, G, but instead of doing a normal D like that, again, sounds too clear. And with this C, it's nice and a bit fuzzy, like it's not a C like that. It's a bit mysterious. And then the D, that's a D sus4, I think. This is normal D, that's D sus4. So I naturally went to that kind of melody with my voice, even though it isn't the other song. Oh, 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 I'm on fire. And it just sounds like I'm a mixture of like, almost like gospel-y, I guess, in a kind of way. And a bit sad and a bit wistful. So I was like, oh, hey little girl, is your daddy home? Did he go and leave you all alone? Got a bad desire. And these are the lyrics of the other song. Oh, 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 I'm on fire. And then I was like, I have no idea what to write about. I don't have any inspiration. And what I was talking about last time with like myself, my situation, like I don't know where my home is at the moment, blah blah blah. It felt like a mixture of heavy and like I was kind of repeating myself from other songs. So I took a step back, and I think what I'm naturally starting to enjoy more is singing about other people, singing about stories, because I feel like, I don't know, like in my first album I think I was just talking a lot about like my own sadness and my own pain, and I've been thinking in the last year or two about like how can I help other people with songs, like what can I do. So I want to start singing about other people's stories, and actually celebrating people's stories. So there's a girl I know, and she, I remember we were talking once about how she met her husband, and she was saying it was love at first sight, and I mean, to me that just sounds crazy. I couldn't imagine like literal love at first sight. But I was like, when did you know that he was the right guy for you? And she said straight away, second she saw him. So I got in contact with her, and I asked her to just tell me about how the relationship went down. You know, what happened the first time they met. And she was really cool. She gave me all these cool details. So she basically said like she was wearing. So they both work as prison guards. At the time I think they were working in Louisiana. And so she was wearing a white uniform, and she noticed he was wearing a black uniform, and she looked really handsome in it. She really liked him, so she found out his name, and called him over, gave him some shit, and he didn't know who she was or how she knew his name. Then she went out for a cigarette, and then he went out and kissed her, and that's how it started. And I was like, that's an awesome first verse. So this is how the first verse went. So I'm singing it from the guy's perspective. Her uniform was white, I was dressed in black, she knew my name. And I was like, diddly-doo. Well, he didn't. If I was him, I'd be like, how does she know my name? She did. I didn't know how. And so the first time she told me about this, I knew I wanted to write a song called "Love on the Prison Floor." But the first time I asked her, she was like, "No, you can't write a song about that." But she gave in this time. So love on the prison floor, and that's the hook there. Love on the prison floor. I wanted to try and keep the song to like 2 minutes 30, 2 minutes 40, because all my old albums, the songs lasted like 4 minutes or more. So I wanted to keep this kind of catchy. So I was like, okay, this one, then another verse, and then something to finish off. So the second part of the verse is about him going out for the kiss. So she slipped me her number, and I was like, and then she stepped outside for a smoke, for a cigarette, and I was like, oh, I need to shorten that. She stepped out for a smoke, and I went and kissed her. Okay, well that sounds a bit lame. I went and kissed her. So I basically wanted to create something that like I give a line, but it doesn't. It's like people waiting to hear what the whole line means. She slipped me her number, stepped out for a smoke, and I took. And everyone's like, oh, what did he take? Photo? Did he take her number? What does that mean? Like, it's kind of a weird thing I took. What did he take? Stepped outside, slipped me her number, stepped out for a smoke, and I took just one kiss. I kind of like that line. It kind of gave me very mini shivers. Like, it's kind of soft and romantic, but also quite forwards. I mean, respect to the guy who did it, right? I mean, he knew that she liked him at that point, went out and went for the kiss. I think that's awesome. And yeah, I just thought it's a mixture of soft, but also going for what you want. So, love on the prison floor, and that's the end of the first bit. Now, again, in that cover I was telling you about, so definitely check that out and have a listen. There's a little bit in between. It goes do 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 do. stuff like that. So it's basically just, you know, 2 chords going in between and doing some vocal stuff. So I wanted to do the same, but I didn't want it to be as heavy. So I thought I'd keep it on the G and the C and keep it soft. And so when coming up with the vocal melodies for this, I just let myself do something. Fortunately, after so many years of singing, I guess my voice often knows where to go, so it doesn't sound too weird. That just takes a lot of practice. So yeah, I just came up with this, and it's felt nice, so I just keep doing it. I don't know whether to go do or ums. Comment below, tell me. And I was like, I want to finish on a cool chord that's kind of interesting. And I learned this chord again from learning another song. This is from Free Falling. John Mayer did a cover. And yeah, that chord's always stuck in my head. And I thought it'd be cool, because I've been doing like some vocal stuff, then to take the vocals back, be silent, and do a little guitar riff. And then the next part is about, so she was then telling me, because I wanted to be like, okay, so they've met, and they've had a great time, yeah, obviously like things have gone well. Now I want the listener to be like, oh, well, what comes next? So I want to transition to how the relationship went. And so she basically told me, to keep it short, yeah, they were together for a while. They had a lot of fun together, but he had to go back to Oklahoma where he lived, and he ended up working at a prison as a prison guard there. So Louisiana is pretty far from Oklahoma, and they weren't sure if it was going to work or not. But then she went to visit him. They realised they really cared about each other, so he managed to get a 3-month contract back working with her. And from the sounds of it, that's kind of where they realised that they really liked each other, or I assume that is. So that's the next thing, and I really like the first line. I don't know why. Oh, Louisiana, you feel so far away from OKC. So I like how I'm not talking about the people, but I'm kind of patting myself on the back, but I like how I'm not talking about the people, I'm talking about the places. OKC, it stands for Oklahoma City. Yeah, I was in America earlier in the year, so I guess. Oh, Louisiana. And I put in the O because it fit better. I was Louisiana. That sounded a bit weird, so I went, oh, Louisiana. And like those sort of things, it just comes by writing loads of songs and just working out what feels right for you. And it just, so adding these little things and getting the timing right for the vocals just gets more and more natural. Oh, Louisiana, you feel so far away from OKC. And like, again, I'm patting myself on the back a lot here, but I'm just telling you why I've kept these lyrics instead of, sometimes I drop lyrics completely. I really like how in this song I managed to say not that many words, but really get across a point. Look, oh, Louisiana, because why else would I be saying that? Feel so far away from OKC, and it's our motel, because you know the first time they got together was in a motel. So I feel like even if you don't know their story, you can put those pieces together, hopefully. If not, then the next few lines will help. So instead of love on the prison floor, there isn't love on the prison floor. So I don't love the timing of what I've done here. It's a bit clunky. I don't feel like it's that sharp. I feel like I'm kind of letting myself down a little bit, but I like what it gets across. Was it love or just one of those things? So I think like with those lines, I'm saying we're now really far away. I miss being with you. Was that just a fling, or are we gonna make something of it? And then the next thing is about her coming to visit, and then him getting the job. But and again, from here on out, I'm not a huge fan of the lyrics. I feel like they could be better, but they might get improved, they might not. But you drove over to see me, then I You drove over to see me, then I got a job for 3 months back with you. I like this line. It felt like home, because that's a really important thing. Like, because before it's like, oh, is this a hookup, blah blah blah. You know, there's the real initial excitement of hooking up with someone or meeting someone, let's say, and getting to know you like them, then hooking up with them. But when you say it feels like home, that's pretty deep, and I feel like that's going to melt a few hearts for the listeners. Felt like home. And I was like, I could do Love on the Prison Floor again, but it feels more better to say it's back on the prison floor. Love back on the prison floor. And I didn't want to do another vocal thing. I knew I wanted to end it quite soon. Like, it would be nice to have a third verse or something to round off the story. Because, I mean, the story goes up to basically felt like home, which is cool. Like, it's saying, you know, that it's probably, you know, I think the listeners can assume it ended well. I think it might be nice to round it off with another thing, but I decided I'd add in a guitar bit, because I'm really keen to have songs that last around 2 minutes 30, 2 minutes 40, so that they're not too long. And with the guitar bit, it's about 2 minutes 40, which I'll show to you in a second. What's the one I say? Yeah, so I did another song that's kind of like this. It feels a bit incomplete, and I showed it to someone. They were like, "Oh, is that it? You know, I want a bit more." But maybe that's part of a good song. You know, when I'm in the car by myself, I'm listening to a good song. I'm like, "Ah, crap, it already ended. I'm gonna play it again." So maybe that's a good thing. Anyway, love back on the prison floor. And I was just playing with what I could do. I wanted to go back to the original signature, but maybe give a bit more energy. So I strummed with my fingers. And then you might remember this. Same last time, we really wanted to get that note in there. And I thought a nice way to finish it off was to just go, love, love on the prison floor. Prison floor. So I would say I really like the first half of the song. When the lyrics aren't as tight, I don't enjoy it as much. I feel like I could round off the lyrics with a bit more, and the ending could do some work. I don't know. I feel like it's missing something at the end. But essentially, I'm really happy with the song. How do I know? Because I love playing it. I can just close my eyes and sit back and play it 5 times in a row. And that's when you know it's a good song. So, yeah, that's Love on the Prison Floor. Written, composed by John Harper. Probably come on to the next album. Oh yeah, another thing to mention, because it's not all about feel. And one thing I realised is, like, the more I kind of try and study a little bit of songwriting, it's actually really helpful. I used to be really, I guess, a bit more pretentious. I was like, oh, you know, Justin Bieber, blah, blah, blah. You know, that's a load of crap. I'm writing real music. And I listened to one of the songs called Sorry, and I was like, this is actually an awesome song. I love listening to it. I love singing along to it. So I learned some humility, and that really helped me, because then I was looking at YouTube videos on, like, why did I find Sorry such a good song, and why did so many other people? And there were lots of reasons that this guy on YouTube was saying, but one really interesting point I hadn't really thought about is the amount of times in that song he says, is it too late now to... This is the word sorry, basically. Is it too late now to say sorry, because I'm missing more than just your body. So I think in this song I liked that I was adding in Love in the Prison Floor quite often throughout the song, so it kind of reinforces it. It's, yeah, adds that to it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed kind of, this is like an experimental thing, just seeing what you guys think of me writing a song with a video. I'm not sure what the audience will be like for this. You know, hopefully there are some beginner songwriters out there who got a few useful tips out of this. If you have any questions, you know, leave some comments down below. Please do leave a like and subscribe. I'm trying to get eventually to 1,000 subscribers so I can do some YouTube live stuff. I have to get 1,000 followers for that, or subscribers, or whatever you call it. So yeah, thanks for listening. Have a good one. Let me know if you want more.